party time. It is time to go. Welcome, everybody, to a brand new podcast, Old Carver Fishing Podcast, to be exact. I always mess that up. Anyways, we got a good one today. We are in studio here at the bait shop in Carver, Minnesota. Old Carver Fishing Bait and Tackle Shop, owned here by... we'll just go around the table and introduce everybody in the podcast. I am Luke Henches, Fish on Luke on YouTube, Northwoods Angling. And next to me, we have Tara Fishing on the old TikToker and the YouTube. She's a big-time TikToker.
Big time.
You got to remind everybody that.
I want to get on that. We're
And,
not going to talk about that yet.
We're gonna
Oh,
skip.
yeah.
We're gonna skip the guest for now. We're gonna go over to Scott. We got Scott Goodyman over here. He is a local ice fishing phenom himself, and part of Old Carver Fishing Bait and Tackle Pro staff. Welcome, everyone. Welcome him. And we got Dan, Dirty Danny Two Cats, over in the corner in the light blue. And
Dirty Dan.
look at him over there.
Just Jesus.
He's
My mom watches this.
all right, fair enough. I'm gonna leave it at that. And next to him, we have Chewy Godinez Jr., co-owner of Old Carver Fishing Bait and Tackle Shop, Stoked Custom Baits.
So guys,
And we got here set up. And today's guest is special. We got a fellow woman angler to hang out with Tara for the day.
Yay!
We got Shelly Holland in the house. Escape Excursions out on the Apostle Islands. She also is SKS Guide Service, which is her husband, her son, and her guide service named after them.
Okay.
All right.
So
She's already
I'm not
stopping
married,
me.
and
Okay, shoot.
that's okay.
Shoot.
That's okay.
I screwed up.
We have
But
outdated
I love
information.
that. No, me and Scott's son Cody. So, because we're not married, but anyway, they're great. They're still great people.
Yeah!
All right.
All right,
We
all
read
right,
it.
what else we got?
We didn't know that.
I know. That's
She
okay.
is
I could have let it slide, but it's not the truth.
she is a Clam Pro staff, Vexilar Pro staff, and she does excursions in her boat, which we will talk about in this podcast. She's part of multiple women anglers groups. Are you still doing that?
Oh yeah, I love that.
So
I
she's part of
recommend
one in Wisconsin and Minnesota. She does some other ice fishing stuff, some other fishing stuff in general, what we'll talk about as well. But it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you for asking.
Girl power.
I know
Yeah,
Tara was
for
really
sure.
Tara was really
All these
excited.
men.
So we're gonna start it off. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and what got you into where you're at right now. We'll get into depth of everything you're doing now,
Okay.
but tell us kind of where you grew up and what got you interested in what you're doing.
So I live in Oak Grove, Minnesota, north of Anoka, about 10 miles. I've lived there for about 20 years, raised my kids there. My dad always had boats, and I loved going in the boat, that water, riding in the front of the boat, and that view you get, and being able to be on the water and to go places you can't normally go if you don't have a boat. See these views, and you're typically seeing things that not a lot of housing, you know what I mean? It's more nature usually. So it was always so beautiful. Loved that. That's why I got into boats. I really got into fishing though when I met my future husband, Scott.
Oh.
No.
Fair enough.
Okay.
We'll see. But when I met Scott, he was big into fishing, and he was good friends with Dave Gentz. Have you heard of Dave Gentz?
Oh.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Yep.
kind
So-
of.
So he would fish with Dave Gentz. And so when I met Scott, I love adventure. I love to get outside and do things. Wasn't a big angler like he is or back then. So when I got into fishing, I got in on a high level. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I'm running around these lakes and snowmobiling, and we're hole hopping and doing all this stuff. And I took to it right away because I love nature, and it's just kind of in me liking that stuff. And back when Dad was fishing, he didn't have all that cool equipment that Scott had. I mean, Scott was really out fishing my dad. So that's really how it happened. And then it just snowballs, once you get addicted to fishing and start getting on good fish.
Yeah.
I'm getting good fish with Scott and Dave. When I caught my first bluegill, 10-inch bluegill, it was kind of right away in our relationship. And I kind of thought, big deal. Why are you so excited? His eyes were big. He's taking all these photos of me like I'm, getting photographed like I'm a movie star because of this 10-inch bluegill.
Yeah.
And I was not impressed. I'm like, you're a fisherman. you know. But I never caught another 10-inch bluegill for 4 years after
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
then I knew. But that day I caught it, I was like, I didn't get it. But I love it and I'm addicted. And now, like, the middle was great. You lead up to this. But now what we do, part of it is because we're older. And I think you do these things when you get older. We go trophy fishing. We go to Idaho. We go to Canada. We go Fort Peck.
Man, we got a lot to talk about.
We go where the big fish are now. I'm not going out my backyard just to go fishing anymore. I'm not going to Forest Lake. I'm not going, you know. I just like big fish.
Yeah.
And I like the adventure of the whole thing, though.
That's my dream trip.
That Canada trip
That's my dream trip.
looked
For
amazing.
And then that Baker's Narrows, my
Yeah.
first trip up there last year, I joked on Facebook, I'm going to the North Pole fishing because it's so far up there. It was a good time.
Gotta take this here real quick.
Baker's Narrow. All right. So what'd you catch? What?
So Baker's Narrows is for trout fishing, and I never
Yeah.
used to really like trout fishing that much. And I didn't even like to eat trout much. But that is one of the funnest fish to catch because they're going to zoom up that hole. You have to reel.
Talk to guys about it, and they're
Oh,
like,
gosh,
as fast
it's
as you can
exciting.
rip that lure up,
Oh,
they're just
they-
on it.
They are tricksters. They want off of that. They're fast. You never know what they're going to do. They're going to zoom up, and it's like he got off. And then they're going to pull down and drag it out. And they're going to do that 10 times if it's a big fish. And it's crazy.
Yeah, that would be a lot
It's a
of
crazy
fun.
bite. It's a fun bite.
Of all those cool places you got to go, which one was the coolest?
Definitely Baker's Narrows. Yeah.
And that's ice fishing? Or...
Yep.
Yeah.
Ice. I've only been there ice fishing, been there 2 times. We were just up there. We went over Christmas so Jason Mitchell, Scott fishes with Jason Mitchell on his shows sometimes because he is invited and he wants some extra sticks and stuff, more fishermen. So I get to go too. So first we went to Winnipeg. Jason invited us to Winnipeg. And then I told Scott, I said, we're so close to Baker's Narrows. It's only 8 hours further north than Winnipeg. So it's far. And he agreed. We had 2 days to go fishing on Baker's Narrows. So we went up there and we were lucky enough. Our first day, we kind of caught small fish, regulars, not around 20s. And then we had 1 more day left. And we only caught 3 fish that day, but one of them was a 43-incher.
That's all that
And
matters.
We were beyond excited. I'm still kind of high off it still, just because it was so fun. And you have to, our cabins are super cute, and we travel about 20, 30 miles out to the spot, and we did it on our own.
That's awesome.
Yeah. A guide did kind of give us some clues, like try this spot. They gave us a few areas to try, and we gave him a little cash. We're not just gonna.
That's only fair, right?
It's all
Yeah,
about
it's only
greasing.
fair. Yeah, it is.
That is an interesting thing you say about chasing trophies. Is pretty much my life now.
Is it?
It's
yeah.
Tara's been starting to fish with me a lot in the last year or two, and she's starting to realize I go a lot of places, and when I go somewhere, I'm not going to catch fish. I'm going to catch a giant.
Yeah.
And that includes, when I go to British Columbia, or I fish Ontario, British Columbia,
Oh.
Manitoba. I go to Idaho as well, which we can talk about later. I fish for white sturgeon on the Snake.
Oh.
So chasing trophies is definitely different than going for just to catch fish.
It
and,
is.
and there's nothing wrong with just catching fish, but something Tara got a world-class fish last year in Wisconsin when we were on a trip trying to find a giant out there, and she ended up catching one. And it's what do you think? What is that feeling like compared to
Well,
catching normal fish?
I was just gonna say I really resonate with your story, like with a 10-inch bluegill, because I was in the same boat. Like I was going fishing to fish, and then I met Luke, and now I'm just obsessed with big fish. And so I mean,
yeah,
and once you catch the first one, it's over.
yeah,
Like you're addicted, just like you
Yeah.
said. So.
Yeah.
No, I still go out and just fish.
Well, yeah, I do too. But there's something to be said about a 25.28 pound catfish.
And you got your first blue.
And my first blue, biggest flathead, biggest everything.
Yeah, she's crushing.
She is.
We're going to Idaho here in like 8 weeks or so. My buddy that we're fishing with just had a baby today. So
Oh,
Yay!
Hank Esox Berglund, he named his middle name after the Pike and Muskie family, which is kind of funny, kind of awesome to be honest.
It's awesome.
Check out who's online right now.
What's
Isn't
that?
cool?
Yeah, let's go through some comments here, and then we'll get back into it. Nicole Huddleston's in the house. She's a member of Women Anglers of Minnesota.
And Wisconsin women
And,
fish.
yeah, Jay Johnson, he's a drop-shotting bass fisherman.
You don't drop shot, do you?
No, well, I have. But I'm not big
But you
enough.
don't like it's not. You don't love it.
You
It's
don't
not
like
your
it.
love.
It's not my
See,
thing.
You don't
nobody
like it.
likes it, Jay.
Oh, no.
When we were catfishing,
Yay!
We got Chris.
Danny Two Cats, sensei.
If you guys don't know Muddy River Catfishing, he's a YouTuber out of New Mexico. He has over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he's been around for a long time. He catches a lot of cool fish. So
Make
welcome,
him
Chris.
sound really old, dude.
He is old.
Luke's mom in the house. Happy late
Hey,
birthday.
hello, mother. I like your picture. I'm in it. Paula,
Paula.
How you
in
doing,
the
Paula?
house.
Oak Grove? ? I'm in the neighboring. Now then,
Oh, now then. Isn't that a cool name for a place?
I love that.
I've seen that sign. I know that.
What's up, Jesse?
And Jesse.
if you guys have any questions for any of us in the podcast or Shelly, make sure you put them in the comments, and we can answer them for you if they're appropriate for a live
Yes.
podcast.
Oh man.
I have a little heartburn. I'm going to be honest. I crushed a bunch of curry before I came here.
Oh.
Really good. Can I throw a plug out there to my favorite curry spot? Spice Thai Cuisine in Savage. G3 coconut curry with chicken. It's everything you want. It's all you need.
Welcome to
I
the
love
Old Carver
Thai food.
Fishing Podcast.
Dan, you want to throw a plug?
Oh my gosh.
No.
Lisa's place. Taco Wednesday.
Taco Wednesday.
Okay. So Shelly, tell us about what your day-to-day is now.
Well, I do have a real job. For 27 years, I've been, or actually way longer than that, but I've owned and operated my own lunch truck in Minneapolis.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love
Lunch
that.
I wanted
Lunch truck.
I should
I
ask you
don't
for a
make any
picture
of
of
the
that.
food though. I know I didn't give you a picture of
Yeah.
that. So I
We love
don't
food
make the
trucks.
food.
Yes.
They kind of call me a roach coach.
Oh no.
Sorry, no, I know it's fine. It's a dying business. We used to have 80 of them. Food has changed.
Yes.
Do you
But
go-
I have a propane heated oven with all prepackaged food. And then on the other side it's basically a convenience store on wheels. And
Gotcha.
I love it.
And
love
you
my
go to
customers.
construction sites.
Yeah.
Holy
Have I met you?
Oh yeah.
Have I?
Oh yeah, downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah. Which
Oh,
one?
yeah.
Were you at the Twin Towers? Ryan job? The Twin
We
Towers?
built commercial swimming pools in like all of them. So
Oh.
Yeah.
okay.
That's so cool.
So you've
Pretty
had a
much at
lunch
all of
truck
them.
there?
yeah, at like 9:25 pretty much every day.
Yeah, 9:30. That's the only time construction takes. But I've had up to 35 stops a day. But now I've scaled back. I took a year off for COVID or longer because it was COVID, then George Floyd. And I was doing my Apostle Islands thing, and it was going so great. Everybody wanted to be outside.
Oh, so
It was
that
really
so your
nice.
food truck's like the one that used to come to our shop every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and they
You
don't
guys
come
didn't
any.
call it a roach coach?
No, they don't come anymore. He kind of died out, I think. But
That's
Yeah,
one of
we
the
used to have a
ones.
guy that would
We
come
used to
and-
have 80 of them in the cities back in the 80s.
yeah,
And now there's maybe 10.
Oh.
it was nice having that. He came once a week. It was like a
Once a
nice
week?
change to have.
Every
Yep.
day.
Well, he kind of sat
That
there
is
because
really
all the
nice.
techs kind of eat at different times.
Oh.
So you'd take a shop one day, an area one day, and then you go to a different
Oh,
area.
I see.
But I haven't seen him in years.
Huh.
I've been there a while.
But I love that job. It's so fun.
See, I didn't see food trucks till I got here.
Really?
Man,
We're
man, we
You're
sidetracked
just
easy.
waiting. You're just waiting for the dude to show up in the bike with the basket full of tacos,
I'm addicted. I'm addicted to taco trucks, big time.
taco trucks. Yeah.
They
It's-
got me on taco trucks too.
It's. I got her on the elote. and
Elote.
She loves that.
See,
Oh
yeah,
my
I'm not the
gosh.
same because each taco and each yes, every taco. Not all taco trucks are like back home, I suppose. So
Well, obviously.
true.
Tex-Mex is what I'm.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
sometimes when I order something, I get it, I'm like, this isn't.
I know.
So tell us,
I was gonna say these tangents.
yeah, we're getting off tangent here.
Okay.
Shelly,
Yeah.
I want to hear about when you bought your boat, your big boat.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to hear
yeah.
about
Okay.
Escape Excursions.
Oh,
Tell
I'd
me
love to
about
tell
when
you
you
about
bought the boat. I read an article. I don't know, when did you start Escape Excursions? Just real quick.
In 2017.
So that when an article we read in 2017, that was your dream to do, is go
Yeah.
to be a
Yeah.
guide.
Yeah.
I know Tara
It
I'm
was
sorry,
I
Tara.
was geeking on the way because
Oh.
I was reading this article and it said, "Oh, my dream would be to have this big boat and take
Yeah.
people to the Apostle Islands." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what
Yeah.
a
So,
dream!"
yeah, tell us
manifested.
a little bit about. I know Tara was kind of really excited to do this podcast. She's like girl power,
Yeah.
and
It did start so from the heart because I've been a boat owner and not a fishing boat owner because like when Scott met me, I had a Glastron, an 18-foot Glastron that I would take down the St. Croix River and you put in Hastings or wherever you put in and go to Treasure Island and go all over. And then I upped it. I got a brand new boat, a rinker, a 19-foot rinker. And then I was going to the Apostle Islands and camping. And then
I'm gonna push it towards.
and I was
her.
taking my girlfriends and family on these amazing trips, and it was so fun. I loved it. I loved the sun. I loved the water. And I kept thinking to myself, I should be getting paid for this. You know, this is a lot of work.
No.
Backing in the boat, bringing
Right.
the snacks, you know, all taking care, catering to everybody while they're all drinking it up, and I can only drink a little.
Right.
And so I always said to myself, I wish I could get paid for this. And then I'm in the fishing industry, and all these guys are getting their captain's license to do guide trips. And it was like a light bulb moment. It was like, I'm going to get my captain's license and I'm just going to give these awesome trips that I've already been doing, but get paid for them. And
Nice.
so I'm planning in my head how it's going to look. And I didn't know for sure where. I thought of the Apostle Islands, but that seemed just such a reach. I live in Oak Grove, but yet I thought that is so beautiful. That's where the people would pay to go. And then I thought, but I always did the St. Croix River. You know, I think people would maybe pay. Look at the base of people you have, you know.
Yep.
Could I get some girls to pay me to go on a river ride and take them to Treasure Island Casino? I couldn't find a slip. You know, you start doing some research. No slips would let a boat be a guide there. You know what I mean? Or take money. Yeah, I was like, can I run a business out of there? Maybe you got to lie. I don't know what you got to do. I never followed through after a bunch of no's. But anyway, I got my captain's license. I was the only girl out of 20 guys in captain's class. It takes a week to get your license. And I did it up in Lake of the Woods because they go up, the captain class teacher guy, Ted Gephardt, he would go up there and give a class because all these places wanted to get more captains. And I remember going in, and it's a little intimidating. And I sat down at a table kind of like this next to a big Indian guy. And I'm still good friends with Sean. I love Sean. He didn't come in with a pen or paper or nothing. So anytime he needed something, I'm like, here's a pen, here's paper. And we sat together the whole time. And it was really fun making a relationship with him. Ted was a great teacher. It was quite an experience going to captain's class and doing that. And Ted Gephardt is actually from Bayfield and the Apostle Islands, and they go around the room. Why are you getting your captain's license? So I'm doing it for this lodge, and I'm doing it for this place. And I was like, I want to own and operate a business up at Bayfield at the Apostle Islands. And he kind of was put back because that's where he lives. That's where he's from. And he's told everybody in the class, you know, a lot of people, 20 of you are here to have your captain's license, but realistically, not all of you will really follow through on this. You know, not all of you will really make money and be a captain. And we all kind of like, oh.
I would have
You
been.
know?
I would have been like, F this.
Jeez.
I've been like, yeah, that's probably me.
I'll get a taco truck.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose.
And then so now to look back and go, yeah, I did it.
Yeah, that's
It's-
awesome.
it's-
That is.
It's hard, I bet.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Is the process easy? The test? All that?
No,
It's
no,
not easy,
no.
right?
It isn't hard. Now that it's over.
Do you kind of like? Yeah, well, no, you didn't. But do you kind of like get a sense of like the responsibility of being a captain?
Oh
like, while you're
yeah,
doing it?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. I'm still just doing what I love though.
yeah, that's
You
probably
know?
why
Yeah. But that big water is something else, you know.
Yeah,
I've
so-
learned
so-
so much.
That's a-
Knowing what I know now, I'm glad I didn't know all this
Yes.
because I did go in a little naive, but I pulled it off.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
That's all that matters. Right. Oh,
And I know so much more now. So
Where's this at?
ooh.
oh, that's
Dude,
one of the sea caves.
I've never been
Inside
in-
the
I've
sea
only been in
caves,
one
looking
cave.
out.
Do you have a picture of the boat?
The boat. So I didn't even send you a picture of my first boat. I'd like to talk about my first boat.
Your
my
Cap
first
Shiva?
big boat. Nope, not the Cap. That was my 19-foot boat. But to go to Lake Superior and do this business, I knew I needed a bigger boat. So my first boat, big boat, was a 27-foot Wellcraft, and I bought it off of Minnetonka. And I had never driven a 27-foot boat with a cuddy. And when I bought it, I had to drive it all the way across Minnetonka to where the trailer that I had bought for it that I hoped it fit on.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Seriously. And it fit.
Oh
Wow.
God
Yeah, I
bless.
spent $5,000 on a trailer that I didn't even know if it would fit
Oh
on.
man.
Scary.
It
Is
was.
the scenery from
Well,
over there?
I don't know. I had so much faith and wanted it so bad. I just feel like it.
Oh, I know how that
Okay.
goes. It'll work out
It-
somehow.
it has to work out.
Yeah, yeah.
One way or another.
Right.
And Minnetonka
This boat's
has
leaving
all
on
those
this.
rocks.
on
I know
this trailer.
Minnetonka a little bit because those were some fun trips. I
Yep.
got lost. It took me 8 hours to get back to where because I didn't know the lake one of my times there, you know. And so I knew that there's rocks, and I knew that could be some stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god, what does that buoy mean?
It's
You know.
not like
Right,
it's not like
right.
Canada.
Yeah.
There's
Googling
a
the
buoy
buoys
on the
over
way.
every rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fiberglass and rocks don't go well together.
No, they do
That
not.
is a fact.
and that there's Devil's Island. Most of my
Devil's
trips
Island?
are, and it takes about 45 minutes to get to Devil's Island, going about 25 miles per hour.
And that's out of Bayfield.
Yep. I'm actually out of Red Cliff, 3 miles north
Yeah, I
of
know where
Bayfield.
that
I'm
is.
at Legendary Waters Resort and Casino.
So if you guys
Marino.
don't know, the Apostle Islands are out
That
of
looks
Bayfield
amazing.
on Lake Superior. It's a group of islands that go out 20 miles. They do freeze some winters. You can actually go out there and ice fish. I've talked to Shelly before the podcast, and you can actually ice fish out there. It's very scary. We weren't out with any guides. We were 20 miles out to Outer, right where the no-go zone is, right by that. And there was a lot of current, and it was 210 feet deep. And you had to have your graph hole 8 feet from your fishing hole, and then your graph in the house because there's so much current. And you're dropping 2-ounce lead, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just it's
Oh my
just gone.
God.
Yeah.
And then you're like, if I go in, I'm
That's
done.
pretty gutsy to go out to Outer.
Yeah. We did talk to a guide before we went out, and he had been out there, so he said just follow my tracks,
Oh yeah.
which was really really nice.
Because I wouldn't recommend just.
And we got out there and realized we forgot a graph.
Ah,
We had
Uh,
one, but we forgot the other graph, so we could each have our own. And it ended up being okay because when you're in 200 feet
Can't
of
even
water,
see
that
it anyway.
that
should be able
beam
to
is
pick 'em
that
up.
beam's 40 feet wide.
You would
So-
hope it can pick your bait.
So we got a bunch. We got a bunch of lake trout. We didn't get any size, but it was still it was crazy.
Inexperienced.
And this
right?
boat right here? Is
So that is the beautiful tiara. Isn't
Oh.
that beautiful? That's a
That looks nice.
31-foot tiara. It's called a 31 Open. It's a 2002. And Scott and I went in on it. We're sharing that boat. I live on that boat, and he's hardly there, so it's perfect.
That's a great looking boat.
Oh, and it was named Fin Scout when we bought it. We got it from the lower Michigan, Holland. I don't know, some town called Holland or something. Holland, Michigan, just south of that. And we paid $2,000 to have it shipped up. That's rock docking. You can just pull up to rocks and dock. And there's really cool anchors. Like there's some anchors. That's North Twin. Hardly anybody goes there. And they have little cleats that are super ancient and falling apart from back in the day. And have you ever heard of the Congdon family? They have a mansion in Duluth, the Congdon Mansion.
I know. What's the other mansion in
They
Duluth?
do.
Glen Sheen.
Glen Sheen.
Oh, it's the Congdon family. It's the Glen Sheen Mansion.
Okay, I know
Sorry.
that.
Oh,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
So
Yes.
Glen Sheen Mansion,
Yes.
Congdon family owned it. They owned property on Twin Island back in the 1800s.
That's cool.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, when the park bought it though, or didn't buy it, or however they got it, it became a national park in 1970. Any buildings they kind of burned and got rid of because they didn't want people to get hurt and to set up camp, or you know what I mean. It was, they wanted to preserve it so you could see it as people would see it if they were coming across for the first time, you know. And it's beautiful, pristine beaches and those ancient sea caves that took millions of years to make.
Are you
Oh.
going through part of your tourist speech right now? Is
No,
it-
it's
I
just,
love
it's just there.
It's ingrained.
It's in the
It's
heart.
just there.
Yep,
It's in the
yep,
heart.
yep.
Let's look at some other pictures here real quick. Stick.
So you
Quick
take
pick on
people out
this.
on your big boat and
Yep.
then
I also have
kayak?
another boat. I had 3 boats last year. This year I have 2. My other boat is I just bought it, and that's a whole nother story, but it's a 30-foot Maxim.
Wow.
That looked like a fishing
Okay.
boat, not a tour boat.
Yeah, but it's both. Oh,
Yeah.
it can give good tours.
Yeah.
That's my kind of a
That's
tour right
Has a
there.
dance floor.
Oh
in the back.
yeah.
And it's
do,
not
you,
a
do you
fishing
keep the
floor?
rods up just to?
I don't
Look
see-
at
Look
those
at
girl
in case-
power
in case-
vibes.
Yeah, this was a really fun girls trip. Peg, she's booked 4 trips with me now. That's the mom, and those are her daughters.
Oh.
And
I love that.
took
Look
them
at
out
that.
fishing,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
nailed it because this
Ooh.
You
was
nailed it.
I took them way out past Outer. That's a great spot when you want to just use your automatic pilot and you don't have a first mate. So I did that trip all by myself without
Yeah.
a first mate
Yeah, you did.
in a big boat.
That's powerful.
I love
And
that.
it was, but you know, there's no other boats around, and there's not a lot of it's flat bottom, so I don't have to worry about the downriggers bouncing or hanging up.
So you're running all those riggers all by yourself?
Yeah,
That's so
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's so
She
hard
is
to
a
do.
woman.
That's cool.
And-
If you've never Great Lakes fished and ran riggers and planers,
Yeah,
it is so much work.
yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Once you get it,
You say
it
that.
is a lot of work in the beginning when you're barely getting it, which still is me a little sometimes. Like when I'll go in the spring and I'll be like, all right, which one's gonna be the short one?
You run planers too,
yeah,
then?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I was telling Shelly before the podcast about I asked her if she'd been out to Isle Royal, and we first went out there to pull planers and downriggers, not knowing how the fishing was out on Isle Royal. Isle Royal's the biggest island on Lake Superior. Well, it's got an island. It's an island with a lake that has an island on it, the only one in the world. It's kind of cool. It's a 45-mile long island. They used to copper mine it in the 1800s. The natives used to copper mine it, and then it became a tourist destination for rich people. It's like the Cancun, where people would go instead of Cancun. It was Isle Royal. They'd boat really, really wealthy people out there. They had a croquet area. It's still there, and then the main cabin where we camp. Well, I shouldn't give away where we camp, but
Oh, God.
anyways, the slab's still there, and there's like an old fireplace cooking thing there that they used to use, and you can still use it now. There's just no building there, but it's like the same thing. It's I forgot what I was gonna say, but what were we talking about?
That's the Apostle Islands too. Even in the 1800s, people would come from New York on trains to come see
Yeah.
those sea caves. And there was a lot of workers. They were taking the trees. They were taking sandstone. A lot of buildings were made out of sandstone back in the late 1800s. Because after the Chicago fire, 300 people died. Everything was made with wood. They thought that making it out of the sandstone would be good. Then cement came in the 1900s, and then that sandstone became just obsolete. That was too hard.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, I can just tell by your love for the Apostles, which I've been to. I've never gotten into the caves and explored a ton, but you would really like Isle Royal.
Yeah,
Is
I
it-
would.
You just got to take that boat across.
Oh, dude, me and Scott have tried twice, and we got burned by fog.
It can be
Yeah, we
scary.
got burned. We're up there, but I did catch a 40-inch lake trout
That's so awesome.
on one of those burns because we couldn't make it out
Yeah.
there right out of what's that? Grand Marais.
Yeah,
Yeah, the alligator.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking
I
about?
know.
That rock.
A little familiar with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's shaped like an alligator.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they call it the
Yeah.
alligator. I can't remember now. But
Yeah. I don't know if you want to say. I mean, yeah. Well,
Taking
I don't
notes.
know.
no notes. I'll tell her after this. After
I'm
the
a giver.
podcast, it's funny.
There's a question for Shelly.
Shelly, we have a question for you.
What up?
How do you catch a muskie?
How do you?
I already
From
know
Nicole.
the
From
answer to
Nicole.
that.
So there's a
Huddleston.
backstory here.
It sounds like
She's
it.
been trying and trying. I don't know if she's asking you or me or whoever, but I've caught quite a few. And she wants to catch a muskie, and she thinks she's over still. So
Just go to Minnetonka and cast a spinner bait.
I just say go pull a sucker
I
in
don't
the fall.
catch
and
them,
you'll
and I don't
catch a
even wanna
muskie.
catch 'em.
Yeah, definitely timing. Like
Yeah.
get them on the right.
Big
season.
time.
Uh,
You can go to Orchard if you want to catch a tiger.
Go to Lake Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca's good. There's so many good.
Notes.
You can go up north and go to Cass. You can fish Man Trap up by
Man
Bemidji.
Trap, yeah.
I grew up right next to Man Trap,
Oh,
so that's kind of my neck of the woods. Bemidji, just south of Bemidji.
beautiful.
Okay, here's
Yeah.
I
another
love
question.
it up there. How many remote lakes do you try to fish throughout the year?
Hi, Mike.
On a
Sorry.
remote. I don't know. I mean, I'll drive by these lakes that don't have one hole in them and wonder why. Like, doesn't
Yeah,
even
I always
try?
wonder.
It's because
God,
there's
you
not
know
other
there's gotta
houses
be
out there.
tons of
That's why.
secret big fish that we don't know about.
Yeah.
There's gotta be.
You know what was really good about this year? So I used to fish a lot of like even highway drainages, and there's big fish in some of those, big bass especially. There's one in around Shakopee that's like 20 feet deep, and
You were telling me about that one
and
day. like,
this year a couple of the ones I wanted to try to fish this year all dried up, so now I know I don't have to fish them because they're too shallow.
Yeah.
They were just dirt.
Yeah,
But
right.
the one I like to fish is it's still, I think I got 12 feet deep still this summer. I didn't catch nothing, but I've seen dead fish on shore, so something's there.
There's the next one.
Who's the hot chick you have on tonight?
Oh,
Scott.
there he is. There he is. I don't know if you see it. Scott Siebert. Do you know him?
Oh, yeah. Hey, babe.
That's funny.
Oh,
That's great.
I love that.
Hopefully he tuned in a little late so he
Yeah.
doesn't have any heat on him.
So was that Paula Mar?
Paula.
Moore.
She says, I've been to Canada twice for fly-in fishing with my husband. Please share what an Apostle Island fishing experience would be like. Fish, ? Water difference, etc. Thank you.
So fishing, we'd be fishing for lake trout, splake, maybe some salmon, brown trout. Oh, those are my favorite.
You get the
big,
cohos
beautiful
out there?
Cohos.
Oh, I love. They're so
they
delicious.
catch some kings, but I don't. But honestly, I do more guided tours of Devil's Island, and my most popular trips are bringing people to Raspberry Island and seeing historic lighthouses that were built when President
cool.
Lincoln was in power.
Oh wow.
And then you get off on these big docks, and there's just gorgeous. Then we'll go to Devil's Island and drop you in some kayaks, and you'll kayak through those sea caves that you saw earlier on your own. But my boat will be right there because a lot of people that intimidates the heck out
Oh,
of them
yeah.
getting in that kayak. And the water's usually at least 65.
It gets that warm in the Apostles.
Oh, dude, it gets up to 75
Wow.
sometimes. Last
Wow.
year it didn't. Last year sucked.
It's nothing like
Last
the
year I
main
had bad
lake
weather.
then.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it gets pretty warm for about a month.
A month.
Awesome.
The month.
So at that point, you're a bartender and a
You get to bring all the
Captain.
beverages you want. I have a bathroom aboard. That's where I
Oh,
kind of get my
man.
competitors.
Yeah.
Big
Big time.
They use smaller boats and they're zipping. They can bring their whole boat though in the cave. So that's something I might look into if I wanted to. But I like what I do.
I don't know. That sounds
could
sweet.
you do a dinghy with the lift and drop everyone
Yeah,
in and just
I
go
could,
cruise around?
I could, but then they're all stuck together, and
Yeah.
it's not
The
to be on your
kayaking sounds
own.
better,
Okay,
honestly.
yeah, I'm
yeah, put a little fear in them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they feel like they really did something, and my reviews are just amazing, and the people that thank me for help coaxing them in. Some of them I've got to kind of coax in gently, like, no, really, an 80-year-old did this yesterday and they loved it.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah.
It's
or lie, whatever.
No.
It's okay.
Yeah,
You're making it up.
But I mean, it last year I did have a couple people fall in where as they're getting in the kayak, you know, and that rattles their cage a little.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right back in.
I really thought she was making up. Just this guy with no arms, he got on it.
Yeah.
What the hell, bro? You got
Oh,
2 arms. You want to get on the
yeah.
kayak? Come on, bro.
I want to hear more about the kayaking thing. So how do you
So this was cool too that I got in with Paddle North Kayaks. Have you heard of Paddle North? They're a Minnesota company.
You're fine. I can hear you.
I'm
I can
so
hear you
loud.
good. I can hear you good.
So Paddle North is a Minnesota company, and on my lunch truck, I would see this little shop that looked like surfboards were lined up, and I'm like, "What is this?" Every time I'd go by, I was too curious. So one day I swung in there, and they said, "Yeah, these are inflatable kayaks and paddleboards," and it was right after I started my business. I was using hard kayaks my first year, and it was so hard, so hard.
I can't imagine.
So I asked them if they'd
Yeah, it
work
would
with
be a
me,
lot.
and I would tag them and use their stuff. And I love it. I love you can stand up. Their paddle boards and kayaks are so sturdy. So their kayaks are so sturdy. You can stand up in it like a paddleboard.
Oh wow.
And you can
I
roll
like
it up
that.
into a little
Me
suitcase
too.
too.
I'm not a
We should get
kayaker.
one of those.
Yeah.
I fell out of one time.
Yeah, we should catch a flathead in
Freaks
one of
me
those.
out.
Yeah, so I've always
I'm
wanted
game.
speaking of kayak,
That'd be
like fishing
fun.
out of a kayak. I don't enjoy fishing out of kayaks. I'm a big thick boy, so it's tough. But I want to catch an alligator gar in a kayak in Texas. That's like always something. I've caught a ton, but
Kidding me, bro.
I've never caught one out of a kayak.
Dude, when I hooked up to a muskie at Cedar,
That's cute.
a lady
Oh my.
lady who owned the property, she just said, "You know what? Just come over here and just go ahead and land it on my property. It's okay." And I was like, "Thank you." And she says, "I couldn't stand
Wow.
watching."
I
anymore."
couldn't watch.
Was it dragging you around?
That way, this way, that way, this was. I
Oh.
swear to God, I thought I killed a poor fish. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Yeah,
Imagine 100 pounds heavier and jumping.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Oh.
mine.
Sounds awesome.
That muskie was dragging me all
Look
over
at
the
this
place.
poor guy out there.
So you just see this yellow yak just going. That
Just a
way.
little-
Funny.
I swear, it was just I couldn't do anything about it. And
Did
I
you-
just wanted.
I
Oh,
won't say
bless
it.
her
Shut
heart.
up.
We
I was
go up
just-
If it's one
to-
of those, shut up. Don't even. Don't even. Don't even.
Poor thing. She probably saw a little Mexican out there floating around.
Hey, over here, arriba, arriba. Another comment there.
Oh man.
It's a lot of work, especially when you manually have to do it after auto breaks down.
What does that mean? What's she talking about?
She's talking about running riggers. If your auto
Oh.
stops and
Oh,
you're
I
solo,
do have auto. How did you even know I had auto?
You
yeah,
said
that's
it.
cool.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. Has she fished with you before,
Who is it?
Nicole
That's
Huddleston?
Nicole Huddleston.
or does she
Oh,
just?
is she- maybe that's Peg. Are you Peg's daughter?
I don't know if she is.
She loves
No.
you though. She's really
Oh,
excited.
I need to see a picture. I'm
It
so sorry,
says,
Nicole.
haha.
I'm sure.
I live in Tonka. I've tried even Becca and even the scary city on Cahoon.
Oh, wow, you haven't gone to Harriet though, huh?
Cahoon, not
We can't say Cahoon. They changed the name. Well, we don't have to
Why?
get into that.
whatever. Okay. Next.
Caught my first muskie on tip up this
Pickle
season.
outdoors.
Pickle.
Pickle outdoors.
Pickle outdoors.
What kind of pickle?
Dill.
Sweet and
Every day.
spicy.
Zingers.
Zingers are
The
amazing.
one in a Bloody Mary.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's my favorite.
Congrats on your muskie.
Lamar. I think I think she's the picture of the family we posted. Is it? Could it be? I'm not sure. It said-
I
Who's
don't-
that one? What'd you say?
Paula.
You know her?
Hi, Paula.
Hi, Paula.
I
Hey,
can't see
Paula.
you that far.
She's in the squad now. It's okay.
Oh yeah, Nicole bought my kayak
Oh
from
yes,
me.
yes. I remember.
That's right. I sold it because I'm too big.
I love kayak fishing because you're right down by the water. You know,
Yes.
You're really
that's
in
my
it.
favorite part is just
I-
being right there.
If I had a
really-
nice stable kayak, that'd be a whole nother ball
I bought
game.
mine because I really got into the Minnesota Kayak Association when it was first starting, and that's all I did was fish the tournament. I tried to make most of them, but it was hard for me when you land the fish because you're so low to the water.
Yeah.
You're trying to take a picture of it,
Yeah,
measuring, and
yeah.
it just flops, and then I don't know how many fish.
It's
I
just
lost.
confusing in the beginning.
You can't strap them. You can
Yeah.
lift them.
Yeah,
I want a 40-pound cat in a kayak. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
I think it'd be so
It'd be a
cool.
great
And every time
story.
I've like tried, you set the hook and the kayak just lunges forward like you have no lever.
Well,
Right.
I have two. So
See, that part
You
freaks
got
me
to
out.
anchor
like
it
getting
at first.
pulled around
What do we
like
got?
that.
Long
Until you
story
set
on the
the hook.
name.
Oh,
And then okay.
Not a short story, huh? Old Carver.
So should we get to that picture?
let's do
Yeah.
it.
You guys are freaking me.
No!
No,
It was the one that
I know.
It's an amazing
I
fish.
know. It is an amazing
it
Let's
is.
see
That
it.
was a beautiful
Woo!
Yeah, that's huge.
It was
Huge.
an amazing day.
Yeah, tell us
We-
about it.
We were so excited. So the day before that, so we're at Baker's Narrows Lodge. We have 2 days to fish, and this is 8 hours north of Winnipeg, and in northern Canada. Baker's Narrows Lodge is awesome. There's all kinds of YouTube. Do you guys watch Jay Siemens?
I know
or,
Jay.
Clayton Schick. Have you seen any of his
I
stuff?
know
I
who-
got to
I
meet
know,
him that
yeah.
weekend. He was up at
Cool.
Baker's Narrows.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
It is fun to kind of fangirl over your YouTube person.
Oh, I
you
know.
And they,
I'm a big
Yeah,
fan girl.
yeah.
so when you guys are doing fishing trips, you're making a TV show at the same time, right?
Not
Yeah.
not at Baker's.
No.
So
No.
Jason Mitchell asked us to go to Winnipeg because he was shooting a show.
Sure.
And so since we were at Winnipeg, me and Scott were like, well, Baker's Narrows is close. Maybe we should hit that too. And we're never going to get closer than Winnipeg. So we went up there on our last 2 days to fish after shooting the show. So Jason Mitchell didn't come up there with us on this one.
He probably
Uh,
wishes he would.
yeah, I'm saying-
Well, truthfully, though, the only reason we got to Baker's Narrows is because last year Jason Mitchell invited us there.
Mm.
And so we did shoot a show with him last year. And they caught a 43-inch too.
Dang.
Yeah,
Wow,
that is a
Big fish up
trophy
there.
trout
That's the
lake
spot.
for sure. At one time, the world record trout was held at that lake, on that lake.
Wow.
And now it's somewhere else.
Probably
what
on,
was
it's-
the
I'm
world
guessing
what
it's
is
now
it?
on Great Slave in the Northwest Territory.
I'm a huge
I don't
Jason
know.
Mitchell fan, so it almost
Are
just
ya?
like awes me that
Oh,
you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
are just buddies with him.
It
Yeah, we
was
go
just so
fishing.
casual.
We go fishing.
Well, he's a clam guy.
Yep.
We're big clam
Yeah,
guys.
right.
Yeah.
Clam
Yeah.
clan.
And how big was
How
that
long
one?
has Scott been on their team?
Gosh, over 20 years for
That's
sure.
crazy.
That's long.
Yeah, and I was the first woman ice team pro.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Nice.
talking about.
I don't even know how many years it's been now, but
Okay.
it's been a few.
So you went out to
So
Narrows.
we're on our second day, and
Look at that monster.
we get out there, and it's pretty slow. We set up on a reef where it's a little shallow and then a little deeper. It's like 15 here, and or no, maybe 25 here, and then it went down to 50. And we set up in the middle of it, so we're on the ridge, and we put a tip up,
Mhm.
or not a tip up, yeah, 2 tip ups or dead sticks, 2 dead sticks on the side, and then we were fishing in a house, and that's usually not our style, but it was a little chilly, and we thought we'd try it. Seriously, we fish outside.
Were
a
you
lot,
fishing
but
the dead sticks? Were the bait laying on the bottom?
the bait was
Yeah.
laying on the bottom,
Mhm.
and that's not our style either.
Aaron Weave style, uncut angling.
I love Aaron Weave, uncut angling. I met him too.
Yeah, Aaron's a good
I
guy.
wish he'd get back into it
I
more.
know.
Dying for his stuff.
He has the best. I've been doing YouTube a long time,
Have you?
and I've always looked up to Aaron. His when he was making content. Well, Jay's amazing too. Jay's just a nice
he
dude.
Is, he is.
I message Jay, he always messages me back. But Aaron, his content is elite.
Yes,
It is so
I agree.
elite.
I agree.
And it's not always the most best quality. Jay has by far the most quality videos. One of the best quality videos. He's just an amazing videographer,
Yeah.
producer. He's just brains, man. The guy's so good with the camera. I know Jacob, my business partner, films for In Depth Outdoors. And I know Jacob looks up to Jay too. And Jay's just good. But Aaron, Uncut Angling, had the best videos.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that-
did you see his first ice one this year?
No,
Or
I might have
in
seen
November? Hilarious. There was no first ice, so he used his auger as a motor.
That. I did not even see it.
Is that Aaron though, or
That's-
what?
that's
Is
him.
that uncut angling?
Yeah,
at
Or
it
its
sounds
dropping-
about right.
Dropping
Yep.
all of your gear down and then going back and getting it.
Yeah.
ice.
Yeah.
Hooked it all and got it up. His
yeah.
auger, his
Yeah.
graph,
too.
Oh my
everything went through.
gosh.
He made
So
this.
that's actually who I found when I first started watching YouTube. I'm in the kitchen. Oh, I think let's check out some ice fishing stuff. And that's who I saw, and that's loved it ever since. And then I got in the YouTube world,
Yeah.
as far as watching all these fishing
But-
shows. Love it.
What
Yeah.
about his fidget spinner video?
That's what I was gonna
That
say.
was epic.
He made that fidget spinner,
Yeah.
and my nephew asked me to make one, so we made one for him. Except
Aw.
my sister-in-law wouldn't let me cut her hair,
Aw.
but we tried it. Yeah,
I
and we
like-
met him at the ice show before COVID. we
One of
met
my
him.
favorite
Yeah, I
ones
got
is
to
where
meet
he,
him at the ice
where he
show,
picked
too.
someone up off the highway to trout fish, and when he took deer hair off a dead deer and made bucktail jigs for crappies, then caught 2-pound crappies after 2-pound crappies with his jiggy made out of deer hair. He just got off the side of the road.
Yeah.
He's just epic.
Yeah.
Just an epic. I wish he'd make more videos.
I know. Yeah.
So bait was laying on the bottom.
So.
Yeah, there we
So
go.
this is how the day
Thanks, Sarah.
went. We get up early, and then we're even talking. Maybe we'll stay another day. We're like,
Oh,
we
know
could
how
take
that
Monday
goes.
off. Maybe I call. And, we're like, this isn't enough.
We
That's
know
our
how
that's
it
our
works.
life.
Before
That's our
the
life
day
story,
starts.
Shelly. That's how
Starting
we
to feel a
live.
little COVID.
Yeah. So we get out there and we're fishing, and it's slower than crap. And so Scott decides he's gonna leave and go fish somewhere else for a while because it was just so slow. And he goes and fishes somewhere else. I'm not really seeing anything. And then he comes back, and all of a sudden he notices he put a little piece of tape on the line because it was a dead stick. This isn't how we fish. We needed to know if that line was going down open bail, So a little piece of electrical tape up there. And he goes, that tape is gone. I got to go see. And I'm kind of like, yeah, it probably blew out. You know how you think sometimes. It's like, I'm not going out there. And it was
I know
his
how that
side
goes.
anyway. It was his rod. And we both go out there, and I decide to set up my tripod. I got a tripod and all that. So I set up the camera, videoed the whole thing.
Oh,
I got it on
yeah.
TikTok. It's really cute, but I edited it so fast that it's the big, hook set and the
Oh.
rod bend. And then it's getting it out of the hole. I made it short. It's super cool though. It's on TikTok. But he sets the hook, and it's such a bend. It's nice. And then all of a sudden he has to reel like a crazy man. Like it looks like I'm fast forwarding the video because he is, and I'm
Fish
not.
is just
I'm not. That
coming up
fish
that
is just
fast.
racing. And he fights it for 25 minutes.
Oh my
He fights
gosh.
this fish. And then I see the head. You know how exciting it is to see that head in a
Oh,
10-inch
yeah.
hole?
yeah, that was
Or just the fin that looks like this.
Dude, they're so
You know?
huge.
yeah. they're-
When you get big lake trout, their fins are just giant.
Oh,
I've never
God,
seen
yeah.
it, so.
It's a wing.
Yeah, it's
a
exactly
water
right.
And so then it gets to the hole, and I can tell it's not going to come up easy. So, and the ice is only that thick, which is also nice. Just perfect winter weather.
It was super clear.
Yeah, it was super clear. I had a clear picture there. I think, I don't know if I sent you that, but it's in the Facebook stuff. But anyway, so I stick my hand down there just to get him to turn a little bit because he's so fat. And then got him, pulled him up, and I'm just grunting. Like seriously, to pull this fish up. And then his hand's there and he's helping. And then he wants to protect it so bad. And in the video, you see he cradles it like a baby and
Yeah.
runs into the house because we want to measure it, we want to photo it, and we want to get it back in.
Mhm.
And then when we took the picture, I took quite a few. I took one of them holding it outside of the house where he's still in the house. And then a couple outside. I took some in the house. They looked like crap. And so I said, we got to take it outside. It's
Yeah,
so much
inside
better.
fish house pictures are not great.
No. And I'd love
They're
to show
hard.
you after on my phone this because it's so cool looking. But So we take some outside pictures and he holds it out just because that's what you do. You know what I mean? I've got some where he's
Fucking right,
not-
that's what you
Yeah!
do.
Yeah! Look at we good. And so when I go to post the next day, we decide not to stay another day.
Right.
gotta get
That's a good
We
call.
only caught 3 fish the whole day, and we caught that fish. We decided to go home, and he was all nice. He's like, "Yeah, but you didn't catch one." And I landed that fish. I mean, I touched it.
Yeah.
I was happy.
Right.
It was a team.
How about that
thing.
feeling when the body keeps coming out of the hole? Isn't it? It can't
That was a
describe
grunt,
it.
Just the
Yeah.
not even hardly.
It
being
just
able
keeps
to-
coming.
Uh-huh,
And you get those
uh-huh.
giant fish, especially lake trout through the ice. My first
Yeah.
lake trout, my biggest lake trout was 38 through the ice until I caught that big one on Island
Oh,
Royal.
yeah.
And it's just like when
Through
he
the
pulls it out,
ice
it's just
is-
it's just
yeah.
water's dripping off of it and it just keeps coming.
Yeah.
The 30-inch walleyes I've pulled out of the holes, I've always thought was a northern until you see it, the
The
gold.
yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah.
the whole game
Yeah.
changes. You're like,
Yeah.
fuck, I hope I get my jig back.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, ah.
Oh.
It's the best. I still have that happy feeling. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it was great. So then the next day, you know, we decide to leave, and I think, well, I'm gonna post. You're driving, I'll make a post. We gotta share this. I'm so excited. And he told me, he goes, maybe you shouldn't use that big picture. And I'm like, are you kidding? That is the best
You're
picture
damn right you
ever.
use that picture.
I
Right.
love that picture.
Right.
And he was like fine with it. You know, he didn't he didn't say it again. He said it once, and I said no.
And that's what there's a you talk about what picture to post. My theory is people say, well, you're holding the fish out, you're doing this. Why would you not post a
Right,
picture to make the
right.
fish look is the fish
Yeah.
is the picture.
Yeah, it's
Make
a
the
fish
fish-
picture. It's a fish
You don't always
picture.
necessarily make the fish look way bigger than it is. That's a giant lake trout.
It's
And
Yeah.
you no
Yeah.
matter where he holds that, he's not
Yeah.
long arming that fish.
No.
No.
And
You
that's
can't long
You
arm
can't.
that.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
There's
He
no
would
way.
never be able to stand
Like,
that.
you talk to
You
any-
gotta have elbows in.
Talk to any professional
It's
videographer.
not all elbows in either. He's
No.
got the perfect
Right.
balance.
But the
of
fish
he
is what
can-
you're showing off. Make it look as good as you can.
Right.
And the people like get the purists get so mad. Oh, hold it out more. Hold it up against your body. Why?
And
you
what
want-
is a purist?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you
I
know what
take
I'm
it.
saying.
Somebody that doesn't
Always-
catch
Yes,
fish.
there.
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna hold it out on the count of 3. Get ready.
Right.
I'm not gonna hold
Yeah.
it out very long.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm shaking. We get a big flathead. I'm like, all right, hold it out and make it look good. And Tara's just shaking. I can't hold it anymore.
Gosh.
So then it gets better, and then I say to him, I bet we'll get 500 likes on this. I said, this is good. You know, we don't get
Sure
500
did.
likes. And, yeah. And then
Yeah.
to see all the shares, we were blown away. We got like 500 shares.
Yeah.
That was the crazy part.
Shares are huge.
So then Sarah Joe
Yeah.
starts saying, people are saying that it's photoshopped, and I blow it off. I'm like, so what? Yeah, I'm thinking 1 or 2. You know what I mean? So what? Big deal. We know we're not. And then on my page, nobody says it on my page because everybody knows me. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? But it's all those shares. Once
Right.
it starts getting
Oh, I know.
shared,
I just made a post that had a lot.
Then
And
People are bitter.
There was
It was in a few groups.
Yeah,
I saw it in a few groups, and I'm just
yeah.
like,
that's it.
I didn't, and then my mom,
Oh, God.
she's getting on there. She's talking to these people.
Oh, yes. Sounds
She
like
goes,
my mom.
that was not photoshopped. That's my daughter.
Yeah.
You
watch it.
I am just laughing. And I'm not really reading any of these because I'm on my page.
Yeah.
So I go over to Ice Team's page or Clam's page. And
yeah, the
I was
comments of some of
blown
those, it was
away.
just like, wow.
and it might have bothered me for a second because people are maybe calling me a liar type of deal, but I got over it super
Yeah.
fast because I know it wasn't.
No.
And but one of the comments was, I can't believe Ice Team would post a picture like this.
Oh,
So
God.
Yeah, you
And
don't
I
even want to
was
know.
like,
You don't even want to know what I say about
wow.
people that talk like that.
yeah.
It's bad. But
no.
Scott just commented. He said it was a 43 length by 24-inch girth.
Yeah.
That's a lot
I
of
forgot
crazy.
to say that part. I forgot to say that
That's some
part.
good girth, Scott.
So I saw that
Yeah,
release
Scott, good
video
girth.
and that.
It's funny because that
Someone had
She
to
is
say it.
100% an old carb.
She fits in.
100% old
Love
carb.
that.
Call that-
Danny, you must feel like you're at home.
call that
Yeah,
the-
this is good.
that's the soup can lake trout
Oh my.
I can't read any of that.
there. That's funny.
Oh man, Team Girth.
Yeah, that's a little inside joke in the shop. So you fit in perfectly, Shelly. That's funny.
Oh, so you were on the cover of In Fisherman, was it?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's look at that picture.
Fisherman.
How did you?
Oh.
not
Tell us
put
about
that?
this. You told me a little bit on your message, but
On the In Fisherman one?
yeah.
Oh, that was just they sent it in. I was at a Clam woman's photo shoot, and when I took that photo, I know the photographers because I've been working with them for a long time. And in fact, Joe Anderson, and I don't know if Joe took it though. I think one of
Dave probably took it.
I don't
I'm
remember,
friends with
but
Dave.
Joe was there. Anyway, they were like, "That's gonna make the cover of In Fisherman," and I don't know. Like, I'm thinking, did they plan that, or I don't know. I have no idea. And I was like, "Oh yeah, right." And then they showed me the picture, and I'm like, "Dang, that's really good."
I look good.
And then Addie, who works there, texted me, and she goes, look at what you have." And then I was on the picture, and so that was all great. I loved that, and I posted that, and that was fine. But when it really hit me was when I went 2 states away, walked into a grocery store,
And you're there.
and saw it on the
Oh.
little magazine rack.
Oh.
I got so happy. I wanted to tell everybody, look,
I-
that's me. And now I'm standing
That's
here.
You wanna know-
And
amazing.
that magazine's right
You know what's
there.
funny? You say that because the first time I was in Fisherman, I was on Chequamegon Bay
Oh,
at the
yeah.
gas station, and I was on the shelf when I walked in. I was like,
Isn't
"Yeah,
that
it's a
cool?
weird
Isn't
feeling.
that cool?
It's a weird one."
Wow.
Man,
It
look,
was
look at these,
delicious.
these two.
I know,
Yeah, they're
right?
just really great.
reliving their glory.
And they're
And-
staying on the
Yeah.
wall in the bait shop.
And someone
now.
sent me
Yeah.
someone messaged me a picture at the dentist office on the table. He's like, "I'm looking at you right now."
gosh.
I was like, "Okay."
That's fun. Yeah, I'm
Uh,
very grateful for all this that fishing has given to me and how it makes me feel and live and enjoy life.
Amen.
By the way,
that's
I didn't get a
awesome.
chance to read that issue because when I
Yeah.
got it and I opened up the package, it saw it was looking and just threw it in the trash.
What? Which one?
I'm just kidding. I got it.
You got it, right? I got an extra copy if you want it.
Yeah.
I was
Can
looking
I
for a
have
copy
an
of yours. I
autographed
couldn't
one?
find one.
Oh yeah, they went
Pre-signed.
They
Well,
went too fast.
Usually-
ice edition.
Usually you find them in Walmart because the Walmart rack. You can still find the
Ah.
ice fishing issues from 2016.
What?
That hidden behind the rest of them, but I couldn't find one.
Hmm.
So
Aw.
That's awesome.
I wanted to get one.
I got
Well, we can
got
kind
mine
of
at that
we can
store
start
at the
wrapping
Hill
it
You
up.
Hate.
I think we had an awesome fish story from Shelly. We got to learn about her escape excursions, which I'm really, Tara, I'd like to get out
Okay,
there.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
say
really
the
interested.
same
I was
thing.
gonna say,
Another
yes.
thing too, what's really awesome is being in the fishing industry. A lot of the guys send their wives and will buy them a trip with me
Is
because
this
they're
just a
always
women's
fishing.
thing?
No, I
Okay.
take all kinds of people.
So this could
but-
be an old carver fishing group.
Oh yeah.
Oh
thing.
my god.
Yeah,
That'd be so
do a
fun.
podcast off the boat.
Oh my, yeah, we
do
could
a podcast
definitely
on
do
the
that.
island.
Are you gonna get in a kayak?
I'll get in.
Yeah,
kayak.
you'll get in a
kayak.
She already told me her kayaks are stable.
Yes,
Chewy?
they are.
You getting in?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
she took a dude with no arms.
You-
Well, what did I get one? of?
I'm a strong swimmer. I got you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
Oh my gosh, how
that would
fun
be
would that
so
be?
fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
We
I
can
would
do
love
that. Have you
it.
guys been out to there, up to Bayport?
I've never
Bay-
been up
me
there.
neither.
Bayfield?
Yeah.
Bayfield, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Oh my goodness.
Farthest I've been is
Never.
Duluth.
I haven't even. Yeah.
It's only
Apostles
an hour and
are
a half
amazing.
east of Duluth.
It's
so-
I
not
haven't even
far.
been to
Pretty
Duluth,
close.
so.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
the little non-traveler over here. But if people want to schedule a trip, which I highly would recommend, if you guys have never been to the Apostles, it is beautiful. I've never gotten to go in the caves, and I want to really, really
Me too. That's
bad.
what interests me. I like
And
that.
so, how do people get in touch with you to book a trip?
So escapeexcursion.com or Facebook, Shelly Holland. Escape Excursions is on Facebook as well. I don't know. Do I just give my phone number?
No.
We
They
can
can
put
find
it
it
in
on
the.
the
We'll put it on
too.
your,
We'll put
Oh,
it
okay.
on the
your
Escape
business.
the
Is the
video.
business number? business?
No, it's my
Yeah,
phone.
no.
Yeah.
No, we probably won't.
Okay,
do
so
that.
I wouldn't do that.
escapeexcursion.com
We'll add a link.
is a website.
We'll have a
and
link.
all the
We'll have a link
information.
after the
That is
video.
Thank you.
great.
I tried to link it on the
Yeah.
description, but it doesn't come
And
out as a
I
link. It's
do
just a
get
description.
fully booked, like because
Really?
since COVID. Since
Well, we're
COVID,
gonna. People want to be outdoors.
That's a good
my
thing
plan
for
is
you,
to
though.
have more boats and more captains is my dream now. It's hard to tear away from actually doing it though,
Yeah.
but I do have bigger plans.
Oh.
I like the sound of
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, June.
We don't have to quite wrap up quite yet.
Oh, well, I would like to do I would like to do Bahamas and work for somebody else in the winter, and then do
Love
escape
that.
excursions.
Nice.
I'd like to open
Wow.
up a little shop,
Ah, that's the
and
life.
I'd like to sell clear kayaks and do some clear kayaking up there.
If you go,
I'd like
we
to
will
sell
come.
the Paddle North kayaks and have a little shop up there.
Clear.
That'd be
Oh,
really.
boy.
Sounds
Here
like
we
you're
go.
living
I
the
know. I shouldn't have blew my wad because somebody could steal that idea, but
dream. That's a big.
I bet you don't have the heart like
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
a-
Yeah.
Go
Yeah, you're
for
old
it.
Carver.
Roll Carver, don't worry.
That we appreciate you taking the hour drive over here
Oh,
to hang out
yes.
with us.
Yeah.
I thought you were
Appreciate that.
virtual,
I know
and then I'm
how
like, is she
this-
coming in? He's like, yeah, she's coming. I was like, oh, geez.
I know how the
Yeah.
world works.
Yeah, Rika
Yeah.
was
This
like,
is better.
I call
This
Rika and I
is
says,
better.
hey,
Yeah, this is better.
I'm gonna go get some stands for the table because Shelly's coming in. What, she's coming here? I said, yeah.
Right.
We,
gotta have
walked
her-
in and it was like, I was like, where's all the mess I left on Sunday?
He cleaned the whole thing.
Cleaned the whole
before he
thing.
You
came in.
cleaned it in here.
See, when you have that's the best part of having
Yeah.
company. You get a
Yeah.
clean house.
But no, we greatly appreciate you taking
Yeah,
your
we
time to
appreciate it
come
very
in
much.
here.
Yeah, thank
you
you,
guys
Shelly.
are
Very
fun.
much.
You guys
You
are-
fit in.
That's
You
awesome.
fit in perfectly with Old Carver,
Yeah,
so
this
it's
is great.
literally perfect. Every little intuition you kind of got on right
Oh,
away.
that was
so-
my first name of my boat was Intuition. I gotta say that it was INTOWISHIN. Intuition.
I like
That
that.
that Wellcraft, that
Ah.
first boat I
Nice.
Wow,
had.
dude, that's
That's
cool.
so cool.
Yeah.
And she's
Who's
punny.
our sorry.
No,
Oh.
I'm just gonna close it up.
Who's
here,
our next
so-
who's our guest next week?
Andrew Walker,
Andrew Walker.
Andrew Walker does what? Who's Andrew Walker?
Ultimate Panfish
Ooh.
League.
Okay, UPL.
UPL.
Ultimate
Yeah,
Panfish
that's
League.
awesome.
So that'll be really cool. Once again, thanks to Shelly. If you guys want to
Yep.
get it, book a trip with her. Book ASAP because she will be booked
Yes.
this summer. We're gonna book a trip with her and get out to Bayfield and get out in the caves. I think that'd be really cool. I can maybe, that'd be awesome.
No,
But
we're bringing the rods on that.
Yeah.
trip.
Oh,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
fishing.
You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
need to bring them. I supply them.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
we're good.
supplies
Bring a
them.
cooler. That's all you gotta bring.
next Wednesday, guys, we
Nice.
got a guest, and it should be a great one. Ultimate Panfish League fisherman. And thank you again, and we will see you on the next podcast of Old Carver Fishing. We'll see you.